Hello, welcome back to the DCC Concepts video. In this video I'm going to show you how I painted the retaining walls on the layout. So you've seen some pictures now, so I'm going to show you how I did it with this scrap piece of plastic card. So all I'm starting with is some Woodland Scenic concrete paint, pigment paint. I put it on this piece of plastic here. I've added some normal tap water to it just to run it probably about 50-50, maybe slightly more paint than water, which was like just a bit thicker than milk really. And all I'm going to do is paint this onto the plastic card. So it's really simple. Quite a nice thick coat. There you go. Nothing complicated, nothing overly onerous, just a simple there you go, all done. I'll let this dry off. Let's see how it looks like, and I might give it a second coat. Let's see how it looks after the first coat when it's dry. Okay, simple enough. I'll clean my paintbrush, let this dry, and we'll come back to it in a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to give this a second coat now as the wash. Right, so what it is probably a wash. It's quite thin, so but it's a very thin down concrete coloured paint. Make sure it's got all into all the little gaps. There you go. And then what I'm going to do now is that's it now, leave that overnight to dry, and then what I'm going to do is do some dry brushing. So I'll show you what I do. I'll show you the paints I'm using, and I'll show you what I'll do with the dry brushing. Like I said, that'll be done tomorrow. So okay, we'll come back tomorrow morning and have a look at the dry brushing. So see you for now. Okay, so what I've done, you can see I've given this a good coat of paint. It's had the two coats. I've left it for 24 hours and it's fairly covered, it's fairly well covered. It's not perfectly covered, but like I said, this is only a basing anyway for the next lot of paint. So I've got some Revell Aqua Colours paints. This one is number 37. Let's focus on there. So all I'm doing is going to dry brush the paint on. So first thing is give the paint a good shake. Then I've done it, it's got a 12mm paint, 12mm, half an inch paintbrush. I've cut it down so it's quite stumpy, quite chubby, quite a stubby brush now. And all you do is dip the paint into the paintbrush and then take as much of the paint off. So that's what we call dry brushing. So you're basically using a dry brush, and then all I do then is rub over the brickwork. Okay, if you get a bit spots there, or a spot, heavy spot, just give it a rub, and then you get your next colour. So for the next colour I'm using sand, so that's number 16. Again, give it a shake. And again, dip it in, bit too much to put it there, but and then take it off. So just dry brushing it on. So just dry brushing it onto a bit of kitchen towel, and again brush over the top. doesn't have to be a set pattern the way you do it. Direction, change your direction, turn it round, turn the wall around. You can turn the wall around and turn it round. And again, just give it a rub. Again, you can see the layers starting to get some colour in, building the layers up really slowly. With this technique, it's easier to put less on, and if you need to add more later, you can do it, than go in too heavy. If you go in heavy, you can't take the paint. Once the paint's on, you can't take the paint off. So it is really a case of nice and gentle, nice and slow. Because these are acrylic paints, are water based. If it's a bit, the paint, you find the paint is a bit too thick, just add a bit of water. Sorry, I didn't show the colour. So this is number 17. Again, take the paint off. So I've got a bit heavier with this colour. So all I'm going to do is get my kitchen towel and give it a rub. So you're not taking much, so you can see there's a bit of paint there, but I'm not taking much off. But it just blends all the colours in. Because the idea, I want it like that patchy stone effect. It's not supposed to be a block colour, a solid colour. So next one is 75. Okay, so, and the last colour I'm using is number 74, which is slightly darker grey again. Oh, sorry, it's a lighter grey. And what you can do, you can change the colour of the order. You put apply the paint with the dry brush. Obviously that would dictate the colours of the stone, so your dominant colours, what colour you want. So it depends on what colour you want the wall to be. Ours is it's a very like a sandstone, really, the effect we wanted. But obviously different combinations of colours, you can get different effects and different finishes. I use exactly the same paints on my 7mm at the Revell, and that's a much darker, brownier stone. So again, have a look on our video for that. But it's exactly the same technique, exactly the same things, just changing the order. I painted the wall in, but that's had sort of one pass of colours, and already it's starting to sort of the colours are starting to pop, the stones are starting to pop. So what I do, I'll go around again and do the same again, exactly the same order, give it a bit more colour. So start back and go back into the red. So the other thing is, obviously using the same piece of paper, when you put your dry brushing in, you're picking other colours up and it's changing the colours. So you're almost like making a palette of paint on here. So when you're taking the paint off, you're taking it off. So that's giving you an idea of the colours. It's giving it a bit more colour, a bit more texture when you do the dry brushing. You don't have to push down particularly hard, but the paintbrush, because it's been rubbing it over, it's picking out all the texture on the plastic card. Okay, then to do the next one. I can't stress enough, don't try and paint it all in one go. the less paint you've got on the brush, the better the effect. You know, you're not trying to put the paint down in large quantities. You just want to just dry brush, and you're trying to pick out the effects, you're trying to pick out the colours. Occasionally just give it a rub. I can't believe I haven't dropped a boo-boo on this. It's come, because normally at some point you overload the brush a bit too much, you end up with a streak of some sort. But for the camera, it's working really well. But there you go, that's just getting a bit closer. So we go with the lighter grey this time, because I want the darker grey to be the dominant, the last sort of dominant colour to go on. Okay. I can't claim fame for this. You know, this idea was basically done by Terry at Junction. If anyone knows Terry, and he's done a very good video on how to do retaining wall. It's a few years old, but the techniques work really well. And it's, you know, it's worth checking out his videos to see what he's doing and what he did with his retaining wall. I've used exactly the same colours, the same, very similar, you know, same techniques. There you go. So I've got a couple of places there where it's sort of I've got a bit too heavy with the paint. So all I'm going to do is give it a rub. If it doesn't move, just moisten the paper towel. There you go. So it's a bit sort of bit there. There we go. There's the finished wall. So it's a bit shiny, a bit glossy at the moment. So once this fully dries, I'd probably use sort of like a layer matte coat on it, or you could use hairspray. We'll give it a coat of hairspray and see what it looks like on camera. So it's giving that anything, it gives it a bit of a shiny, and that's sort of really waiting for it to dry. But at least a lacquer, so it'll just protect you. Yeah, but the idea is it's only a bit of scrap plastic card. So the idea is you just work on it, just build up the layers slowly, and get the colour. You know, so changing the colours around, get the colour you want, get it to look how you want it to look. You're probably better off using a matte coat really rather than a hairspray, because you want the stones to be matte and dull like. But there you go, that's how that looks. What we'll do, we'll carry on now, and I'll show you the how to do the girders, the girder bridge. Okay, so thanks for watching, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so now I've masked off the brickwork, and I've just gone over the girders, the metalwork, with a very light grey primer, just acrylic XF19 I think it was. So just give it a quick, like I said, a primer coat. So now what I'm going to do now is going to get some XF1 flat black, and I'm going to go around all the edges, all the joints, and just give it a just what's called pre-shading. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so what I've done now is I've done the black. So all I've done is gone round. I've just basically gone round the shadowed areas. So I've gone round all the beams, picked out all the edges, got right into the corners with the black, where there's lines of rivets. I've painted those. Along the top edge, on the edges, in the joins, basically anywhere where you'd find grime would build up. So I'm going to let this dry off, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. But that's hopefully it gives you an idea of how you pre-shade. That's fully neat XF1, so I've not thinned it at all. So I want to see that nice deep dark black colour. So I'll let this dry off, and then we'll come back to it in about half an hour, 40 minutes, and I'll start to add the top colours, which would be like a pale green. So see you in a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to use now is I'm going to use this Tamiya XF71. I'm thinning it with Tamiya X20 A thinners. It's going to be a 50-50 mix. And what I'm going to do a very light coat to start with, and the idea is to put it on very lightly and let it dry back. And what you'll see is the black, after I've done the first coat, the black will still start to come through. So you're doing light coats just so you get that sort of shadowing effect. So I put the pass over with the very first thin coat, and what you'll see then is once it starts to dry back, you'll see the black coming through. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So I don't know why that's picking up, but I've just done a very light passing over with the green, and you can see, you know, it goes on sort of green to start with, but as it dries back, the black shadowing comes through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around that again, and give it another, pass it over again with another thin coat, and then keep building up layers slowly. Okay, so I passed over a couple of times with some very thin coats, and you can now start to see the green is starting to sort of take hold, but you still got that really good shadowing effect around the panels, I suppose what you call them. This obviously with this stage now, it's a case of build it up really slowly, because you can always put more paint on, but you can't take the paint off. So like I said, it's really a case of do it slowly, take your time, and look at it and keep an eye on it. I think I'm going to give this probably one more coat, one more pass over, and I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. So, but yeah, reasonably pleased with that. It's quite a nice effect. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a tiny bit of grey paint to the green, just to lighten it, to fade it slightly. So that's the colour we started off with, that sort of pale green, when I was just checking the flow of the airbrush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some very light grey paint to it, almost white, but not quite white, just like a really pale, it's a Vallejo paint I'm going to use, and it's called, if I can find it, so yeah, it's light grey. So I'm going to add some grey paint to my colour cup, and we'll show you what it looks like then. Okay, so the green on the left hand side is the original green. What I've done is added about 3-4 drops of the Vallejo light grey to it, and it's just lightened it up now, so you get that sort of bleached, faded look to the paintwork. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around for the centre of the panels, and just give the centre of the panels a sort of light greyish, greenish sort of colour. And what you'll find now is that edges will sort of start to pop, because you've got the darker edge and you've got the lighter inside. So what I'm going to do that, I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll come back to it in a few minutes. 3. Okay, so what I've done now is I've just gone around the centre of the panels with the light grey. I actually added a bit more grey to it and just gone in a bit further, just to give it a bit of variation in the colours. But you know, I'm quite happy with that. Quite a nice effect. It's weathered, but easily weathered. You know, it's not nothing complicated. Very easy to do. All you need is an airbrush and practice, and you can get results like this. What I need to do is I need to get some rust, just dry a bit of rust onto some of the rivets, but I'll let this dry off first and then come back to it tomorrow. But that's quite a nice effect. I'm quite pleased with it, so you know, have a go. What we'll do is get this on the layout. Well, I'm going to dry brush some rust onto it, and then we'll get it onto the layout in the rest of the wall, and I'll show you what it looks like then. Cheers.